Welcome, everyone. Scurv here, the Scurv podcast. The title can be confusing because most people would say, how could comfort kill me? Comfort is supposed to be a good thing. But in actuality, too much of it isn't good for you at all. We have to maintain a balance. To me, comfort is a brief reward, but it can't be the whole thing. And when we find ourselves pursuing a total life of comfort, we become soft. We become something that we're not supposed to become. We're not fit anymore. We're not sharp anymore. Pleasure and pain are two of the most highly motivational feelings. We don't want the pain, but we want the pleasure. But we have to willingly go and get into the pain. Productive pain, sacrifice, discipline. I'm not talking about cutting yourself up or hurting yourself. But like Mike Tyson said, like Cus D'Amato said, his trainer, discipline is doing something that you hate, but doing it like you love it. So I want to explain why comfort is killing most of us, and especially most men. What are the hidden social traps that kill a man's ambition? Most men don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they stay in the wrong places too long. They stay in rooms that feel safe, circles that feel familiar, and spaces that feel comfortable. They believe comfort is protection, when in reality, it's sedation. They think they're resting when they're actually rotting. The most dangerous environments in a man's life don't look violent. They don't look hostile. They don't feel threatening. They feel normal, quite normal. They feel friendly. They feel familiar. That's what makes them deadly. The places that destroy your future rarely come with warning signs. They come with smiles, laughter, and comfort. Men often believe danger looks like enemies, threats, and conflict. But real danger looks like acceptance, ease, and emotional safety. It looks like places where ambition goes quiet. It looks like rooms where dreams stop being discussed. It looks like circles where struggle becomes entertainment instead of motivation. Every social space either builds your future or drains it. Nothing in between. There is no neutral ground. Every conversation either sharpens your edge or dulls it. Every environment either pushes you forward or slowly pulls you backward. There are 7 specific social environments that quietly destroy men's futures. These places feel normal. They feel safe. They feel familiar. But they are engineered to keep men small, comfortable, dependent, and stuck. The sympathy circle. This is the place where men gather to complain. It looks like group chats, bar meetups, vent sessions, and long talks about how unfair life is. It feels like support, but it produces weakness. This circle runs on shared pain, shared excuses, and shared frustration. Men come here to feel heard, but not to grow. In this space, Problems are repeated but never solved. Struggles are discussed but never challenged. Pain becomes identity. Everyone feels understood, but no one moves forward. Men mistake emotional relief for progress and sympathy for support. Every time a man vents here, he leaks power. He shows his weak points. He reveals his fears. He exposes his doubts. The circle doesn't fix him. It absorbs him. The group becomes comfortable being stuck together. Growth becomes threatening because it breaks the balance. This environment trains men to chase comfort instead of results. It teaches them to value being heard more than being respected. Over time, ambition fades, urgency dies, and hunger disappears. Dreams are buried under shared understanding. This place feels warm, but it kills drive. It feels human, but it destroys hunger. It feels supportive, but it quietly replaces action with talk. Men don't leave because it feels like home, but it is a graveyard for ambition. Next, the table of unearned respect. This is the room where men feel important without earning power. It looks like high-status rooms, exclusive invites, elite spaces, and access to people above your level. Men feel proud to be here. They feel chosen. They feel validated. But respect without leverage is illusion. Being in the room is not the same as owning the room. Being seen is not the same as being powerful. Men mistake proximity to power for power itself. In this space, men become mascots instead of players. They are included but not valued, present but not needed, accepted but not respected. Their presence boosts the status of others while giving them nothing real in return. This environment kills hunger. It makes men feel like they've arrived when they haven't built anything. They stop grinding. They stop growing. They stop sharpening themselves because they feel successful just by being present. It creates the illusion of success while producing no real progress. Men become spectators instead of builders. Next, the echo chamber of low-level winners. This is a place where you are the big fish in a small pond. You are the smartest, most driven, most successful person in your circle. People admire you, praise you, look up to you. But comfort kills growth. Being the best in a weak environment makes you stagnant. You stop improving because nothing challenges you. You stop evolving because nothing pressures you. This space feeds ego, not development. It rewards mediocrity by comparison. Men feel powerful without being sharp, confident without being dangerous, important without being impactful. Being the king of a small circle is still small. Being admired by stagnant people makes you stagnant too. Growth requires friction, pressure, competition, and most of all, discomfort. This environment feels good, but it rots ambition. Here's another one, the sunken cost relationship. This is staying where you should have left. Dead relationships, dead businesses, dead partnerships, dead friendships. Men stay because of time invested, not future value. They confuse loyalty with self-destruction. They confuse patience with fear. They confuse commitment with emotional attachment to the past. This space drains energy, focus, and clarity. It keeps men stuck fixing what cannot be fixed instead of building what should be built. They keep investing in broken systems because they fear admitting loss. This environment consumes time, attention, and emotional strength. It forces men to live in repair mode instead of creation mode. You cannot build a future while dragging a corpse from your past. Next, the stage of false status. This is the performance life. Image over substance, status over stability, appearance over power. Men spend money they don't have to impress people who don't even care. This place runs on debt, pressure, and fear of exposure. Men become trapped in maintaining an image instead of building a foundation. Every decision becomes about looking successful instead of becoming successful. This environment creates financial stress, emotional pressure, and constant anxiety. Men live one setback away from collapse. Looking rich becomes more important than becoming free. Image replaces leverage. Performance replaces power. This space doesn't build men. It actually consumes them. The next one, the arena of the middle ground. This is the neutral zone. No opinions, no sides, no stands. Men try to please everyone and offend no one. They avoid conflict to stay comfortable. But neutrality creates weakness. Men become invisible, forgettable, untrusted. No one relies on them because no one knows where they stand. This environment erases identity. It removes conviction. It creates men with no voice, no presence, and no influence. Safety replaces strength. Comfort replaces courage. Acceptance replaces respect. Men don't get attacked here, but they slowly disappear. And who wants that? Next, the ghost of your hometown. This is the past trying to control the future. Old identities, old labels, old expectations, old versions of yourself that people refuse to let die. This environment pulls men backward. It anchors them to who they were instead of who they are becoming. Growth feels like betrayal to people who stayed the same. Men get trapped trying to stay connected to old identities instead of building new ones. They shrink themselves to stay accepted. They limit themselves to stay familiar. This space kills evolution. Men cannot grow into new lives while living in old identities. Every man lives inside environments that shape them. Rooms build identities. Circles create futures. Conversations decide direction. Nothing is neutral. Nothing is harmless. Nothing is just hanging out. If a space does not sharpen you, it softens you. Simple as that. If it does not challenge you, it weakens you. If it does not build you, it drains you. There is no in between. Growth feels lonely because comfort requires company. Discipline feels cold because weakness likes warmth. Power feels isolating because most people are not built to carry it. Leaving these spaces will feel like loss. But it's not loss. It's release. It's not abandonment. It's alignment. It's not loneliness. It's actually true freedom. The future you want cannot be built in the rooms that made you comfortable with staying the same. It's something to think about. How many people are comfortable with you being stagnant? Take a real hard look at the people who circle your world, your life, in their own specific orbit, or they are fixed with a certain position in your life, like a satellite circling the earth. When you try to grow, they pull you back into old comfortable spaces. It could be just a phone conversation. But notice, they never have anything to speak about the future. They never have anything to say about their own personal growth because they have no interest in it. They rather talk to you about old reruns of a TV show from the 70s, or when they were this great cook who won competitions when they were a teenager, but never manifested anything except a mediocre life. Yes, you have to work, you have to pay bills, but what have you done beyond that? And again, I'm not pressuring anybody or thinks that anybody should strive to have their name up in lights. No, but for yourself, your own growth, your own innerverse, which is your inner universe. What are you doing to get better? Because you see people like this, their conversations never change. They will tell you the same old stories and not realize it over the years. When they see you growing and you start to speak about it, they want to change the conversation back to something else as a distraction and keep you from pursuing your goals. Your growth is like a betrayal. Your growth makes other people, if they're not positive, it makes them uncomfortable. And they don't want to be uncomfortable. They want to stay in the comfort zone. But when you get the results of you forging forward and you striving to reach your goals, they may not even stay around. So why drag around the old corpse of this old energy? And it's not just people. It could be ourselves. I know many people, I'm not putting them down. I may have them as close friends and love them, but they're trapped. They're trapped. The same thoughts, not moving forward. And I wonder if they even know that it's 2026. Now, you might hear this in 2029, 2030. Right now, this is 2026 in February. And I really feel that many of these people that I know that are like this, they don't know what year it is. They see it and it goes right through one ear and out the other when they hear it and they see it and they blank out. That's frightening. I know that I'm in 2026. I'm trying to do 2026 things and not linger mentally on 1982 or 1979. Yes, I had some fun times back then, but I don't want to talk about that and think about that all the time, because if I don't do something good now, what would I look back on about this time now that I'm in when I'm in the future? Say 10 years go by and it's 2036 and I didn't do anything in 2026. What am I going to do in that future 10 years? Oh man, we had great conversations about 40 and 50 years ago and I'm still in the same place? Some people you have to deal with. Might be family members, maybe very close friends, where you know the whole family. You can't just turn your back on them. But when that nostalgic stagnation starts to happen, you got to bounce. Oh, listen, I got to call you back, man. I got a phone call. Oh, I got to go. I got to do this, I got to do that. But I'm going to talk to you. And you talk to them. Control the conversation. When they start that stuff, bounce. Every day that the Creator gives me, it's a gift. I'm supposed to do something with that time. I am not supposed to sit here and be stagnant, because there are people that I see, that I know, that I hear of, and we hear of on the internet that we don't know, who might be celebrities or strangers. There's tragedies and there's death every single day. And when I die or transition, I want to be in pursuit of doing something. I'm going to tell this story again. Maybe you didn't hear it. I'll make it brief. There was an older artist in his late 80s. He was up and around. Nothing was wrong with him, no health problems. But I believe he had some type of heart attack or seizure. But he was an artist. And he had the drawing board in front of him. And he had a fabulous drawing that he was doing. But when they found him on the floor, already gone, they noticed that the pencil was at the top. The pencil mark was at the top of the drawing because he was holding the pencil when he began to have the seizure or attack. And he was still trying to put his lines on the drawing. So there was a line that came straight down as he fell to the floor. He was doing what he loved, and he transitioned doing that. And within their circles, because I don't believe he was a famous artist or whatever, that illustration, whatever it was, I don't know what he was drawing, but that was one of the most cherished illustrations that he did amongst his circle. And they framed it, and there's a way of sucking the air from inside the frame so that picture doesn't get yellow. And it was prized. Because when they speak of him, he always strived every day to accomplish something, not only with his art, but in his personal life. And that's how we all should be doing. Yes, I will tell you that's how we should be doing. Don't tell me what to do. Well, stay stagnant. I'm not holier than thou. There are days when my energy is not what it was before. But like I say, if you went 100% yesterday and you had 100% of your energy and you only have 60% of what you had the day before, use 100% of the 60% of what you have. Use 100% of what you have that day. It might be only 9% of what you had the day before. Use 100% of that 9%. So every day is 100%. No matter what you have as far as your battery power level internally, I'm going all out. I don't know any other way. And there are days that you feel that you must rest. You don't have to feel guilty when you rest. Sometimes your body tells you, your mind, your spirit, it's time to recharge. And sometimes it's time to push through. I had some type of cold all this week. My stomach was sick. I was dehydrated. I had to push through the show tonight with Brother Neil Frazier, and I have to push through this particular recording. Sometimes you have to push through, and sometimes you have to sit down. But you never take your mind off where you intend to go to elevate to the next level. It doesn't mean you have to have Rocky music, the theme from Rocky playing dun, 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 in the background. No. Incrementally, it could be just a little bit. Every day is not going to be a record number of victories. It might be half a victory. It might be where you got home and didn't do nothing, but you learned something to make you better to reach your goals. See? It comes in different ways. But if you're around the stagnant circle of the people who feel comfortable, and you all have written this unwritten, agreed upon contract that we're not going to try. We're just going to talk about when I broke up with my girlfriend back in 1980. And I'm going to talk about the job I lost 2 years ago and never tried to get another job or never tried to develop myself. And we're all going to sit here stagnant and let the years go by. And we made this vow. It's like a marriage, like a twisted, sick marriage of failure. Don't pull me into that group. First of all, you can't. And for the people who want to remain a big fish in a little pond. Remember, when you come around their little pond and they realize what you're all about and how dynamic you are, how motivated you are, how brilliant you have been in your area of expertise, guess what? They're going to demonize you to get you out of that pond because they're not the big fish anymore. And what do you mean by big fish? I mean, people have these strange perceptions of themselves. Like, how do you see yourself? How do you see your life? Some people are just out there. And it's these same people that you'll step on your toes just being who you are. Not only will they try to stop you doing what you're doing, they'll tell you to your face why you need to stop doing what you're doing. When I first moved out here to Ghana, I had a rank fool who has no sense in his head told me I must stop doing what I'm doing because I'm not in America anymore. What do you mean, fool? I'm part of the global community. I'm part of the world. What do you mean? You want me to sit down like you and smoke weed and drink liquor and say that's my best life? Oh no, that I would consider myself a straight failure. But you want to be a big fish in a tiny pond? I got stuff to conquer, not just out in the world. That'll take care of itself. The stuff within. My name is Scurv, not stagnant. That's the only thing I have in common with the word stagnant is the S in stagnant, like the S in Scurv, but it's two different things. My name should be considered an action verb because it means I'm doing something. Yeah, I gotta earn my sleep. If I don't accomplish certain things or research certain things or have something to wake up to that I did from the night before, I can't sleep. So you'll understand if you hear me singing that song. Oh, last night I couldn't get to sleep at all. Oh, But when I do sleep after earning it, I sleep deep. This West African mountain air hits me and I'm gone. I don't know where I go to. When I come back to the land of the awake, I felt like I traveled and I'm renewed. It's a cycle. You accomplish and you rest. You recharge and you execute. It's beautiful. Movement keeps you young. It keeps your mind from getting paranoid and just twisted. The older I get, as far as chronological years, I'm seeing people that I know in such a different way. The things that people come up with in their minds, the conspiracies that they have in their mind. You can't be too happy thinking like so. I won't say exactly who or what. But we got to cleanse. We got to keep our minds fresh. Again, striving to be better is where it's at. I'm not going to say strive for perfection. There's some of us who are perfectionists. And I've been guilty of that. But if you're a perfectionist, strive for it. But don't freak out when you don't get it. That's something we will never, only the Creator is perfect, but we can strive for it. That can be a mark. But after a point, it's diminishing returns. Certain part in your day and say, okay, it's time for me to sign off and get some rest. You know what I mean? Because some people would drive themselves crazy. Like when you look at Japanese culture, how they are pressured to do and to do more. If you have a 9-to-5 job in America, folks show up 9:05 and try to leave early and take a long lunch. Quiet, quitting, being on the job, but giving the least amount of energy toward it as possible. In Japan, if you have to be to work at 9, you better be there at 7:30. If you have to leave at 5, you better leave at 7:30. And you better do some work when you're home to have a head start on the next day. This is why there's so many suicides, because the pendulum has swung the other way. So don't go that way. It's all a balance. It's all a balance, because it's sad when all we can talk about is something decades ago in the past that nobody remembers, and that we've embellished over the years to make it seem greater than what it was, because we know we really didn't accomplish anything. It takes discipline. It takes sacrifice. It takes long suffering. But just a flash of brilliance, you didn't make nothing of it. Like the book I read, Talent Isn't Enough. It's around here somewhere, and I'm going to read a few passages out of it. Passages. Did I say passenger? I think I was a bus driver too long. I'm going to read a few passages out of it when I find it. And this is a book that I saw in the pocket in front of me, the seat in front of me, where they have the menus and different things that's offered on a plane, the TV shows and stuff. Somebody read this book and put it right there. And every flight that I've been on in my life, there was always a book that it contained something that I needed. And this one book was Talent Isn't Enough. And I read this book. I read most of it on the flight. It was a flight from New York to Orlando. It was a 2-hour and 5-minute flight, I think it was, that particular flight. And I swear I read that whole book. It was so good. It's not like I found some book or something I'm not interested in. You know what I mean? The breakdown was that we have many talented people in this world, but very few of them have the characteristics to manifest that talent. We have more talented people than we realize around us, but they're not driven to amplify those talents. I'm not saying this to be funny, but are you one of them? Look in the mirror. Or if you're not by a mirror, think about yourself. What talents do you have? And are you working toward maximizing them? Because there's so many people who have great talent and their heads are screwed on the wrong way. I'm not saying you're a nutcase or something's wrong with you mentally, but we'll say to ourselves, oh man, I want to make money. I want to do better. I want to improve my situation. But you're doing mediocre things when you have a talent that is so profound that if you worked on it and have the business aspect done in it, because many creatives and many talented people don't have the business mind. And you run into a business-minded person who will see your talent, work on your talent, or work on presenting it and honing it, make money off of your talent, throw you a few bucks, a little bit of cash, and they made off with a lot of money off of what you have, but you didn't really cultivate it. These days for me, that's it. There's things I can do that I'm doing, rebranding myself, and I'm working toward those things. I have all the time in the world. And I got to stop lying to myself and saying that. But it's a figure of speech compared to the Western way of living. I'm home all day. Unless I go out, I do what I want to do. But I'm going to spend it cultivating my talents and abilities and not finding myself in a stagnant place. No way. I'm not going to do it to myself. And I'm not going to allow anybody else to do it, because they will take up your time and bring up old stories and keep you in a certain place or try to discourage you from growing. No. You got a problem if you try that with me. I'm going forward, and I'm not interested in going back. Anyway, I hope these words have stimulated you. While I spoke of men and their lack of ambition in stagnant places, this also goes for our sisters. These are principles. things I think about. And I want us all to do good. I don't sit up here like I'm holier than thou and I'm preaching to you because I'm better. No, I've got to tell myself these things constantly. Anything I speak about is something that I'm talking to myself about. I'm my worst critic. So if I come off a certain way, it's not because I'm throwing off on anybody. It's because I know I'm unique. I know there's nobody in this world like me. And I know I'm destined for great things. And we're not going to measure greatness with what the world says. Right? And that's what you should be thinking. Because you're unique and you have talents that nobody else has and insights, multiple talents. Let's get away from the stagnant people who are going to have you regretting what you've wasted in life at the time of your transition. Because many people have regrets and they say, I would have done things a whole lot different if I knew then what I know now. Well, know it now. The time is not to be wasted. Amplify your gifts. The Creator will be pleased with that. That's why He gave it to you in the first place. Stagnant people are the enemy. And it's not going to bring you any joy. Spending precious time letting them infiltrate your mind to be mediocre or ultimately stagnant more than them. I love you all. That's why I talk this way. I want to throw this positive energy out into the world, motivate, and push. Remember, yes, it's good to rest. It's good to be quiet. It's good to recharge. Once you recharge, you spend your energy wisely. You don't work all week or 2 weeks when you get paid or whatever amount you get paid or whatever time and just blow the money out. Make paper airplanes out of it and throw it around. No. You're supposed to budget your money. Hopefully you do. You may splurge here and there, but you have to keep an eye on what's going on. There's so many people are a paycheck or two away from being on the curb. Could be 5 or 6 months. What if something of a disaster happens in the world where the world is shut down for 2 years? And there's no groceries. There's no groceries in the grocery store, right? There's no this, there's no light, there's no internet. That's a whole different story, but live frugal. Don't try to impress anybody. Don't live that paper-thin, superficial life that does nothing for you except waste your resources and your time. Be true to yourself, love yourself, and always put yourself first. You can never go wrong. All right? Love you all. I'm on to the next one. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you want to talk about. I already had some suggestions, and I'm going to work on those things this week. All right? Let's vibe. Stay safe. I wish nothing but the best for you. Scurv out. Peace.